with the Durrani has actually been referenced before. There's an ancient text called something Durenis, I forget, Remus Durenis. It's a book that you can find in Skyrim. I don't know if it predates Skyrim. But it's a book that talks about the Durrani's beginnings, and in it mentions that Chimera lived on the Somerset Isles at some point around where the Durrani lived. Granted, though, if the term Chimera just means changed beast, it could mean anything, you know? But that being said, the term probably was used before this person describes it was used. But either way, it could mean anything. It could, if the term Chimera just means change, Mera means beast or something, then it could. It's like how you can find Topal the pilot. He reports seeing orcs before like orcs were really a thing, and so people are confused. But it could just be that he was using the term like the same term they would use for what they just call orcs now, even though they weren't actually orcs, because wordplay is messy like that. But I do believe that the term Chimera was used for a text prior to this. I don't know when this Durenis text was written, though. Let me see if I can find out.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing this is the first time in Elder Scrolls that a Chimera has shown up.
Yeah, it has. I mean, it is the first time. It was pretty cool when they decided to add it. I mean, they added a Manticore. Manticora is what their iteration was. That was Craglorn. Let me see, Durenis. Dureni. I totally bet I can find it if I just scroll down to the bottom of this page. Let me see. Blah, 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 blah. Jesus Christ, this is a lot of references. Never mind. How am I going to find this? Oh my god, there's so many books here. Oh god, so many books. Oh, okay, hold on. I'll totally find it. Here it is. D. Rerum Durenis by Vorian Dureni. This is the exact book that I was looking for, and I clicked on the wrong thing with my finger. D. Rerum Durenis. Okay, let's see, how old is this book? It's by Vorian Dureni. I am 611 years old. I have never had children of my own, but I have many nieces and nephews and cousins who have been raised with tales and traditions of our ancient, illustrious, and occasionally notorious clan. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so here he references that he lived during the chaotic second era of Tamriel. So if he lived during the second era and he's 600 years old at this point, so he uses the term Chimera in the second era, which could mean that this text was written after this text. But let me find the exact portion where Chimera is mentioned. I don't know why I remember this. Here we go. Yeah, there were days where some dark forces in the wilderness, trolls, Chimera, the occasional malevolent fairy folk, and the will-o'-the-wisp, is what it says here. And we do, in the Chimera page literally does straight up link to, it should link to our lore page for actual Chimera. Yes, it does. So it could be that Chimera as a whole existed in association with the Dureni in the past, like at the very beginning. It's just I don't know if there's just no way it could be a coincidence. Like when I hear the term Chimera, I think of this Dureni book, and then here I'm reading another book that's talking about Chimera and talking about the Dureni. It can't be a coincidence. So I don't really know if Phrastus is right here saying the first time it was used was, let's see, when does he say? He says around the time of the Dureni hegemony, which would be, well, actually, let's see, that would be around first era 400, 300, 400. That term being used. And then this guy was alive during the Second Era, so that means that he's way, he's around this time and he's writing about the Chimera. He says that Chimera existed back then. So it could be that he just got the term from the term being used now. I wouldn't be surprised at all if it was just Durrani magic as a whole, but I don't know. Manticora, though, are hybrid creatures mixed with creatures such as crocodiles, whalers, scorpions, wamasu, and men. Manticoras are a lot messier.
Yeah,
This is pretty cool. And men, yes, actually, men are actually. So those like the big things that walk on four legs and have the two arms and the big spears. Those are manticoras.
They walk on four legs.
They walk on four legs.
Yeah, I know what a
two-
manticore is.
Yeah.
I thought you were describing men.
Men. So yeah,
some details wrong.
You know those monsters, the ones with the pointy
Four
sticks.
legs. Humans aren't animals.
So here's a term that Lamia have been referenced as being chimera. Also that's right. There's this place that's called the Chimera of Desolation as well. But in general, yeah, the term could just mean changed beast, which could mean a lot of stuff. But in general, I think it's mostly used to talk about these things. I would not be surprised if they literally hung around the Somerset Isle and the Durrani learned like how to make them, and then maybe even the Druids learned it from them somehow. It's just like a straight up connection. I doubt it's a coincidence. But there's nothing just out. It doesn't just straight up tell you. I will not teach it as fact. But it's interesting. Or it could just be a continuity mistake where Chimera are said to exist on Somerset. And then the first term is used at this point. But I don't know.
What you could do is start teaching it as fact and do that enough until it becomes fact.
People have done that enough that I think it intimidates Bethesda. It's like, oh, we can't show Beyond Nia now because everyone thinks Beyond Nia looks like this. And Kirkbride's really stifled a lot of expansion of the Elder Scrolls, I think, because they go somewhere that defies his wishes. It could, sorry, that makes him sound like a vengeful god.
The majority of fans have no idea what's going on.
I guess not, but I'm just saying, if it goes against his writings, not wishes, if it goes against his writings, he probably wouldn't care. His fans, that think that it's actually a straight up canon, would probably care. Yeah,
think about that, right? But then also think about what Lucasfilm did when they decanonized all of Legends.
Just didn't care.
Yeah, way more people cared about Legends than care about Kirkbride lore, and in the interest of forming a better narrative, the parent company just didn't care. So I think Bethesda probably has even less cares regarding Kirkbride fan followers. It in the interest of their franchise that they own, they're always going to defer to what they want to do, which is the correct thing.
Oh yeah, I was trying to find the term Sith as being used in Gel, and I completely just forgot what I was doing. Let me look at the Gel page we have, and let me see if I can, because we have every word attempted documented for Gel, and so let me see if I can find anything. It's not here as a word, actually, so maybe not. We have Niswo, which is a Presosithus. Okay, here we go. Here's here's some sentences being spoken in Gel. A lot of these are probably um, from Shuxaltse, but so here's one that has Sithis in it, like just straight up. I mean, there's no way that like there's no way that this character is suddenly using like a Tamrielic term in the middle of speaking Gel. So it's like, I mean, who's saying this? It's a, let me just follow the source. 17. This is crazy. Like, I don't know if I've ever really realized this before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's no way I'm gonna find this. I'm just gonna follow Shuxaltse. Yeah, it's Shuxaltse. I knew it. She's like she probably speaks Gel more than any character in the game, and she's just a delve boss in Murkmire. Like, she's just a random boss, but she has such a cool like story and everything that I feel like she was really wasted as a delve boss. I feel like she could have been an entire year's villain, and she's just like a. That's how I feel about the boneless, like I was talking about earlier for Doctor Who. It's just so sad. I mean, like she's a vampire from before the Duskfall happened, right? So she's lived a super incredibly long time. Who knows how old she is, right? Because we don't know when the Duskfall happened, but she existed before that, and she obviously holds to the conservative beliefs before the Duskfall. She didn't change like the rest of Argonians did, so she's still sticking with the whole Sithis as the destroyer thing, and so she also speaks ancient Gel. She doesn't speak like Tamrielic, because she's probably stayed isolated for so crazy long, you know. So so if you just like listen to her in Murkmire, she's just straight up speaking Gel, and it's just crazy to hear because all these other Argonians are just speaking like a language that you can understand. And I remember trying to translate what she was saying once on one of my Elder Scrolls anniversary streams. I spent a long time, but I actually managed to translate a lot and then completely forgot what she said. We also have Hist here, but no doubt Hist is the Gel term. Sakat zune havu setis chi su kronkasa. Which sounds kind of Huttese when I say it.
It does.
It's just like say it like Java. Setis chi su kronkasa. Man. Nah, okay, so I'm gonna see if I can get to Shuxaltse. Man, imagine people who don't play ESO and then they just don't get to experience all this Argonianness, and they're just constantly gonna be wondering about Argonians and all that stuff. Gee, I sure can't wait until we get Elder Scrolls 6 and Blackmoor so we can learn about the Argonians.
There is a general mentality towards MMOs that they're like other or less than.
I mean,
when
like,
it comes to like lore, like
I
people
would
will be like, you know, you could tell someone, oh well, you know, that MMO really goes in Argonians, and people go, yeah, but that's an MMO.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I was that way, you know, but
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess me being that way is kind of like makes me want to make sure that no one else experiences. So I feel like such a dumbass, right? That I'm like, you guys will feel so.
Well,
stupid.
on one hand, they have a point. Yeah, it is an MMO. It's just the
well,
MMO.
sure, it's an MMO, and with an MMO, you get pros and cons.
Well, what they mean by that is that's not really what I'm going for. What I mean is, what if they
don't want to play?
I want to. No, what they mean is, I want to see this in a actual Elder Scrolls game.
Okay,
you know, I want to see Argonian stuff in that.
I guess I can't really fully relate to that because I would absorb Elder Scrolls knowledge in any medium. Like, I would not go like, oh, that's in a book, I'm gonna wait until that's in a game. I just can't imagine being like that personally. I think if you're really curious about a culture or history, you'll take it in via any medium, you know. And so I mean, I'll get knowledge from Elder Scrolls Legends. I enjoy Elder Scrolls in any medium pretty much.
Well, I will say, if a piece of lore was from a card game, I would be like, well, yeah, but that's the card game.
I wouldn't. I mean, like, Legends did a whole lot, like, for the Clockwork City, and It
Like,
sounds really weird to say
I want to
legends.
know more about the Minotaur culture, and you're like, oh well, the card game has a bunch of cards which really go into like their rituals and stuff, and
but
I'd be like,
see-
yeah, that's the card game. I want to see the
Yeah,
stuff
but see,
in a
that's
game.
welcome to how people feel when they're always like, when you're like, no, they explain the whole Exegol thing in the books. And you're like, yeah, but that's the books, or oh, but that's in
Well,
this
if I had a
TV series.
question
It's like
that
I don't
needed
watch all the
answers,
TV series. Yeah, but that's what I mean,
if I
though.
had
These people have
no, no,
questions about Argonian culture and they want to learn it, but they just don't want to care about ESO. I didn't. They don't, but like I'm sure these people have all kinds of questions about things, and they just feel
well,
like it doesn't matter.
they don't care enough to actually, care enough. That who cares?
Then if they don't care enough to
They
actually
don't.
care enough, then who cares?
Apparently, they don't.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I can't imagine not caring, but I just think I think it's perfectly okay to not want to play ESO because you're not into MMOs. Me personally, MMOs are my favorite kind of game. Like after playing ESO and then delving into World of Warcraft and even some Final Fantasy, I'm like, this is the kind of game that I feel like I could play forever. And then, having an Elder Scrolls version of that, which
I guess there
does a
must be
great
some
job.
appeal to it, or else there wouldn't be that many people playing them.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing I like about MMOs is one, I like doing things with other people. I like the live service game portion where you're constantly getting things like it's like that. It's like the thing. It's like being a Star Wars fan now, where you're constantly getting new shows and stuff. It's like it's a great time to be a Star Wars fan. Back in the day when we were kids, I mean, like there were times where it just wasn't much. I mean,
Well, the biggest
you had
story
Clone
thing would be
Wars
like The
series.
Force Unleashed, and it was kind of like,
Yeah, there was the Force Unleashed.
Yeah,
But,
this kind of happened.
yeah, but I mean, like, it wasn't when we were kids. It wasn't like being a Star Wars fan now, where you're getting all of these things coming up, and we're gonna be getting like past, present, and future, and all these crazy different portions of Star Wars. It was pretty dry, and so constantly getting the Elder Scrolls lore, constantly updating and expanding, and I'm sure it's exhausting for the devs. But I mean, like especially since like WoW updates every few years in terms of zones. I don't know how WoW fully works because sometimes I hear about trials or raids dropping and zones being added, and I'm just like, wait, do you guys have? Is this like always happen or what? But ESO's number of things that they add is not usual for an MMO. And a lot of times I worry about that being too much for the devs, but because it's like you have to get a lot done. This year they're even taking a step back because they've been pushing themselves so hard and they need to fix some stuff. They need to do some fixing on maybe stuff that glitches out and all that stuff. That's what quarter 3 is going to be. Is going to be like quality of life updates. And then quarter 4 is going to be some kind of infinite dungeon. Some people theorize Battlespire even.
Yeah, I mean, in order to be an infinite dungeon, yeah, that would work.
I guess so. I mean, I don't think we really have any references to the Battlespire being infinite, but it is a very weird place, so that you could probably find something to do. I would just prefer it being an expansion. But I'm trying to come at peace with the idea. I'm trying to kind of come to terms that it might happen. But at least it's something, I guess. It'll only be 2-player currently.
The infinite dungeon will only be 2-player.
Yeah. That's what they said.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused about how it'll work, because it's like, don't you want to, like, tank a boss and heal, or, like, don't you need at least, like, 3 people?
I mean, yeah, people are now accustomed to playing with large groups of people and only picking one person to go in with. Seems like an odd limitation.
On the contrary side, they do, like, there are players that don't even need healers these days because they, like, run these fancy sets that, like, give them healing, and so it's like you might not be as dependent as you used to be. I don't know. like the Ring of the Pale Order was that thing they added where it was like the more damage you do, the more heals you get. So therefore, it's like you don't need a healer. But then they like nerfed it in group content because healers kept, being unneeded, and because like it was like if someone's wearing the Ring of the Pale Order, I can't heal them. They have to heal themselves specifically. So if someone's wearing a Ring of the Pale Order in like a dungeon I'm in, then I can't heal them, and I just basically I'm wasting my magic trying to heal someone that won't receive it. And I know you're thinking, well then why give them heals if...
Yeah.
But the thing is though, when you're in the middle of a fight, you're not looking, oh, that's Steve, he's dying, I can't heal him because he's wearing the ring. It's like I see someone about to die, I need to save them, right? That's just how being a healer works. I'm not going to sit there and pick apart, oh, that's Steve, I can't heal him, he's wearing the ring. You're in the middle of a fight, you don't want to bother with that. That's just a big nuisance. And so they made it so that it's not that great in group content, and so Rings of the Pale Order have kind of stopped being used so much in dungeons, to my understanding, because I haven't seen it in ages. It's very rare. But when it was hyper popular, I was kind of annoyed with it. And I love the lore though behind it. That's the only thing I love about the Ring of the Pale Order. Is the lore they added, because I thought it was pretty cool. It actually goes back to more lore about the Dureni and the Bretons, because basically what they wrote, even though a lot of people don't know this because it's a mythic item and no one really reads it for the lore, they read it they get it for the item. But essentially, like after a super hyper ultra anti-elf racist movement moves into High Rock and begins to like try to take everything over, the Dureni and the Bretons and even the Nords and Aelids all team up to fight off against this hyper like anti-elf racist faction. And so the Bretons, they end up actually winning the fight and hurting the Alessian Order so bad they eventually die off. Hold on, give me a second. Thank you, Spectrius, for the raid. It's appreciated. How you doing? Sorry, I got a raid. So the basically after that whole fight was done, to my understanding, eventually this order started to rise up. The Dureni were weak after this battle because their numbers had been thinned out, because the Alessian Order did such an impact from this huge battle. That the Dureni were just losing power and losing strength in the area, and you can begin to see how Bretons took over High Rock at this point, right? They started losing their strength. And then this order started popping up called the Order of the Pale Order, where they just kind of show up and assassinate Dureni, and then they leave. Some people theorize that they were vampires, right? Because they're so sneaky.
They don't even elaborate further.
They don't even elaborate further. So the Dureni kept getting picked off by this order, this Pale Order, and no one really knows much about them. But they're like sigils and whatnot, and so they would basically just assassinate them and like keep records. I've been great. How have you? The souls of the tomb have come to haunt me? Oh god, no, it's a haunting. How have you been? So essentially, I mean, this is not like this is where it becomes theory. I mean, this is where I like to I propose my own theory about this Pale Order, is that I think it's a little bit too much of a coincidence that this ultra like anti-elf racist movement like invades High Rock, and then like soon after the elves start getting assassinated by these Bretons, probably. Either these Bretons like saw this opening and they were like, we're gonna pick you off so that we can take High Rock for ourselves, or maybe they were even, this guy just jumped to his death. What the...
People make their own choices.
He just ran right past me and just jumped off the edge. I don't know if he thought this was a bridge, but it is not.
Maybe he was having a bad day.
Rip? Okay. Anyway, so I kind of theorize that the Pale Order might have even been some like group of Bretons that might have been influenced by this racist culture of the Alessians, and they kind of grew from that. Like the Bretons might have fought off the actual army, but the actual ideology had like infected their culture to a point that even the Bretons became anti-elf, maybe. Of course, I don't have any like resources that they assassinated any Aelids or whatnot. But I think it's a fun theory, at least. Here he is. Like, he's fine. He's fine. He respawned. But outside of the theory, all the Pale Order stuff I told you, that's actually, like, written out. And it's pretty cool. That in itself is a super cool idea. I'm not a huge fan of the ring, though. But, yeah. They're just beating up Shuxaltse. I came here to listen to her, and, like, 5 people showed up to kick her in the
That's what they get for making her an enemy.
Man. I think they're trying to farm a lead, I guess. But anyway, so yeah, all this lore was just dropped with, like, a mythic item, right? So it's just, like, something that you scry for, and you get the little codexes, and that's it. But it's a cool idea that who knows, maybe they'll go back to it at some point. That'd be pretty sweet. But it's just something, like, in the background, and it's, like, it's a neat idea, and it explains, like, how in the world the Dureni went from being so incredibly powerful to just living on the Isle of Balfira, right? And letting the Bretons have their way with High Rock, because they were really weakened by Glenumbra Moors and the Alessian Order, and it's like, yeah, sure, but, like, it's cool to know that there was some order that just did a number on them, and they had to fall back to the Balfira, which I guess for some reason the Pale Order, I guess, didn't bother with Balfira. Maybe there was like a ward around it where they couldn't get there. That would kind of make sense to me, but I don't know. Balfira is, like, one of my favorite places in the entire series. And when I learned that they put the ESO tutorial on Balfira, like, I was like, it's as if they asked me where it should be. They didn't bother like trying to cater to the nostalgia or anything. They didn't put it in Cyrodiil to try to, appease people that might have wanted an Oblivion or a Skyrim thing, or even people who were veterans of ESO. They didn't put it in Cold Harbor. They put it in Balfira because, in my opinion, that's, like, one of the most important places in the lore. So I think it's probably the best place to choose. Also, it's really pretty. It's really pretty. And I think the tutorial in itself is pretty okay. It's got the basics down, so. But yeah, I've done the tutorial a few times just because I liked it so much. It's the only time you can actually see the Adamantine Tower up close. And so you get some good pictures of it, like, gleaming in the sun. So I'm gonna wait for Shuxaltse to come back. I don't know if she drops a lead or anything. Her title in Gel is Zolnuhavu Shuxaltse. Shuxaltse is an ancient Argonian priestess who opposed Duskfall and sought to maintain traditional Argonian worship of Sithis through blood sacrifice. She has since become a powerful vampire and was seemingly awakened somewhere beneath Blackrose Prison. Shuxaltse has taken control of the Teeth of Sithis, an ancient temple to Sithis, and plans to make blood sacrifice to call upon Sithis and return all of creation to the void. And she's a delve boss. she's a delve boss. Yeah. I'm telling you, this could have been, like, imagine, like, a Black Marsh DLC. This would have been an incredible... I mean, I guess it would have been... I don't know. I mean, it's kind of similar a little bit to, like, stuff that you had going on in Greymoor, because vampires, but I think it would have been cool. You could have had her in stasis. Maybe she didn't have to be a vampire. Like, you could have kept that idea, had her in some kind of stasis for a long time, and then have her get brought out. And then go, like, what is happening? Like, what happened to our ancient society? That would have been pretty cool.
Wouldn't that just be Jedi Survivor?
That's exactly what I was going to say, though. But, I mean, it's just a similar story. But Jedi Survivor isn't even the first Star Wars person to be in stasis for an insanely long time. What about Kix? Kix was in stasis for an insanely long time. But, I mean, like, it's the idea of having someone...
insanely long time.
The idea of having someone in stasis then coming out, in the middle of a totally different era and being confused.
Captain America.
I mean, like, come on, it's just a thing. But I mean, having Shuxaltse be, like, an Argonian that is so used to, because pre-Duskfall and post-Duskfall Argonian society is so different that she would be just appalled, and she'd be like, "What happened to everyone? You've gotten soft. This is not this is not how we live our lives." which is fantastic because what I always like so much about her story, even though she is just a delve boss, her story is cool because opposing the Duskfall is literally the most anti-Sithis thing you can do, but she thinks that she's appeasing Sithis through blood sacrifice. You know, the Duskfall in general was a change, so it literally was the essence of Sithis in general. But to oppose it, because you think Sithis is something different, is to oppose change in general, which is insulting to Sithis, period. So it's this really dramatic irony that I enjoy. Here she is. Shugsaltse, and is there someone here to beat her up? Yes, there is. Can I hear her say something before she does? Before she dies? Nah, she's too busy not dying. She didn't do a good job. Oh, hey, I got a lead. Oh, is this what people are looking for? The Charm of the Shapeless. Oh, is this like the Wild Hunt? That would make sense, because it says Shapeless. Don't say anything with the Wild Hunt.
I seriously was about to be like,
don't say anything with the Wild Hunt.
Yeah.
Ring of the Wild Hunt. I knew it. Charm of the Shapeless. Hewn from the ancient stone and banded with crude metals, this wood elf ring harkens back to a crueler time. Frightful images of hunter and prey plague the wearer's dreams, but the swiftness of Ifray is well worth the restless nights. This increases your movement speed by 15% while in combat. Increases your movement speed by 45% out of combat. So it'd be really good running around Cyrodiil, like if you really want to stop from being captured or something. If you want someone not to stab you or whatever, maybe like you should put this on. So that'd be kind of cool. Maybe I should look for this. I don't know. I've looked for the other pieces. Oh, hey, I've got 2 leads for this actually. I just got a text from the Bridge Sleeper cult that just says one word, and it's horrifying.
Purge.
I'm guessing it's an admin message to clear the inactive accounts. Just
what a word to pick.
Purge.
Yeah, that's what it's called. This one that's like, okay, get rid of the inactive. Because I mean, like, let's look at the Bridge Sleeper cult in general. Like, how many people do we have in the guild? Let me see. We've got 494, which is 6 away from max. So yeah, we probably need to do that. Yeah, so now I'm seeing people leaving the cult because they're being removed. Well, there doesn't seem to be anyone here. I'm just gonna give it one more go, see if I can hear her say anything, and then I'll go.
I found out the photo album that we're about to fill up is designed to hold. You can insert your own photo album pages because it's just a 3-ring binder style. So a lot of people say that since they take way more than 200 photos, they just buy additional insert pages. So we could do that and then expand our.
Just crop that picture of the guy with the bluey shirt. And then put that
yes, well, that's the thing is we have a photo album. It only holds 200 photos though. We took 7,500 photos roughly, and I narrowed it down to 200. But now we got that guy with the bluey shirt, and I need one more space, so we're gonna have to add additional pages. No, really though, it was insanely difficult to narrow down 7 days of vacation down into 200 photos.
I'm sure.
We want to have like different categories for like not just putting everything chronologically, like having one section that's all character photos, another section that's all the food we had, and then another section that's all like animals, like the different animals we took pictures of in Animal Kingdom and other places.
I gotta take a screenshot of this gel so I can make a post about this on Twitter. His personality makes my tail really swishy.
Let's see. I am 2 photos over. We have 202 photos. But there's already, like, we don't even have any pictures of us inside the M&M store or at the horse stables or anything like that, and it's kind of sad that we don't have room for that stuff, so I think we should just buy more pages.
When I told Mom that I was playing Stardew, she thought... we were talking for like a really long time, and I sent her screenshots, and she's like, wait, this is a horse game that they play? I'm like, no, that's Star Stable. I was like, it's a different
that's
game.
Star Wars. This is Star Trek.
They do sound similar.
I get it.
Okay, let me see if she says anything passively. I don't think she... I think she... It says she has to... It says...
So-
She says something in Jell was summoning enemies, so I think I need to fight her, or she won't say anything.
You should also try to get into Star Stable. Star Stable is coming out with an app version. Not an app version of the game, a app for the game where you can just play the game through the app. It's literally the same game as on PC. So you could play it at work too, and it's an MMO. So
Dang it.
if that's your favorite kind of game genre, I don't know why you're not playing.
Because, I mean, I'm not... I mean, obviously, it's like, if there's an MMO about things I'm not interested in, right? I mean...
All I heard was, I mean, obviously, and then you just, I didn't hear anything else. But like, I guess
I made
that's
a really
obvious.
good point. It was just cut off. No, I mean, like, I was saying that, it's like, sure, you like sandwiches, but you're not gonna like a sandwich made of stuff that you don't enjoy, right? But you just...
What's there to not enjoy?
I'm just saying, I mean, I'm not saying I would hate it.
It's very relaxing.
I mean, I'm sure it is. There's also this MMO that... There's this really, really super niche, vague MMO that I sometimes pop back into sometimes. Just because I like to listen and to the music and
Oh.
hang out. But it's Feral. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes, I've heard
Feral.
of
That-
Feral. I didn't know that
pretty
was
fun.
alive.
I mean, like, it's... last
Wasn't it a
time I
scam?
went, they were... No, it's not a scam.
Maybe I'm thinking of
a,
that dragon one.
It's just an MMO, you know.
Oh.
It's just pretty fun. I mean, it's pretty bare bones. And there's, like, you have to pay for, like, certain races. But, I don't know, there's something about it that I just enjoy kind of just walking about. Maybe it's just the vibe.
Well, I'm sure you would get a vibe that you enjoyed from Star Stable. if you gave it a shot. They also are about the character update comes out in June, where they're completely revamping some of the graphics of how the characters, your player character looks to better update it because everything's like 11 years old. Well, that stuff is. That's the nice thing about Star Stable is that they're so successful they do major overhaul updates to zones and characters and stuff. So they'll actually go back and make old stuff that kind of sucked and make it better, which I don't understand why other MMOs don't do. Because like people are constantly playing your older stuff. Like just
Well, World of Warcraft tried it and they got in big trouble.
well, no one
She said
cares
it.
when Star Stable-
She said it. She said this. I got to hear her say it while speaking Jell, and it sounded really cool.
said this.
It really sounds like it. It really sounds like it fits. But yeah, I know it's like, WoW when they did Cataclysm, you know, and I guess it really wasn't
Well, it's like, particularly with locations, like Star Stable towns from when the game first launched in 2011 don't look that great. You know,
Yeah,
they're
I know.
towns from 2011. Then they update them, and they're like some of the best laid out zones I've ever seen. And it's like, who would be mad that they got rid of the old
add a bunch
crappy
of zones? Or?
Yeah, they add huge expansions. That they're about to add another big one that sounds like it might be desert themed.
You get to ride camels.
Yeah, it has a
I don't know. I'm not gonna.
it
I'm
has
not
a
gonna
camp
say you can't.
it has a campaign that like isn't even finished yet, so main story quests will also be added through updates. It's I mean there's not combat in it, but as a chill exploration MMO based thing, it's you could pour a lot of hours into it. a lot of customization focused. Um, it's nice. Like if Lego Island had like an MMO, it's like obviously there would be like combat and
That's
stuff.
kind of how I feel with playing Feral. It's kind of a Lego Island thing because it's like it's super condensed, and there's not a lot to do, but the vibe feels nice.
Well, the
It's
Star Stable
relaxing.
vibe is like an old '90s game you'd have on your PC, except the graphics and everything.
It's kind of how I feel when I play WoW, though. I mean, like, WoW is not the best graphics and stuff, but
yeah,
there's something about bad graphics that
feels
kind
more
of have a
vintage.
legacy. It's got legacy is how I feel. I don't really mind. I mean, like, you're talking to someone that just I played Daggerfall without any add-ons. You know, I don't really mind
Yeah.
graphics not being the best. If I can feel immersed playing, if I can feel immersed reading a book and only having text to bring me into the world, then I can play a game with not photorealistic graphics, and I can feel like I'm part of the world.
Your imagination.
So.
Yeah. I do think that you would enjoy Star Stable, as particularly for the multiplayer aspect. If you're playing with other people like us or Enchantress, it would be enjoyable.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because Mom was like, "You gotta tell Enchantress that you're playing Stardew." I'm like, I'm thinking, she play Stardew.
Yeah, I mean, again, if you get Stardew on PC, that's another one that we would enjoy.
Yeah, I don't know
playing
if it's
with you.
crossplay though. Did you look?
Let me check.
Because I mean, it's
It is
it's
the
pretty
exact.
okay.
It's the exact same game. Like the one on the phone is not any different graphically or anything.
There's something. I mean, it's a very relaxing game. The music in general, like I've been listening
Yeah,
to Stardew music
that's
for
the
years.
kind of stuff in Star Stable too. Like it's just relaxing. The music's relaxing. It's got like a country aesthetic. Stardew Valley crossplay.
What?
Is Stardew Valley cross-platform? Although Stardew Valley has been sold, or when any sentence starts with although, that doesn't sound weird. It's not yet available for crossplay. This is disappointing news.
What year was that written? This year?
Oh, I don't know.
Hmm.
The only exception is Mac and PC players can play together, but currently there is no option
Hmm.
to play cross-platform, and that was from January of this year.
But it did. I mean, it did act like I could play. I mean, if you got it on mobile, I think we could play together because it
Yeah,
did say
but,
something about
I
playing
mean,
in a group.
Playing on PC, while owning it on PC is better for me because if I ever want to play it on my phone, I just cast Steam to my phone, and then I'm playing Stardew on my phone, you know?
Hmm.
And then if I want to switch to my PC, I can switch to my PC. Whereas if I buy it for the phone, I can't play it on PC, ever. How much is it on Steam, actually?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I was surprised to see that Hylics was so cheap.
Yeah, I mean, indie games of that nature can be. Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is at full price $15.
Mm.
So if you put that on your wish list before the summer sale,
Oh yeah, that's right.
the summer sale is definitely going to make it cheaper than $15.
I mean, it definitely seems like it's a very relaxing game. That's the feeling I get. Is
Yeah.
very
Well, it's a
mind numbing.
farm simulator games.
Yeah.
It's like
I don't play a whole lot of them, but
I mean, Stardew
Minecraft kind of does that.
Stardew is designed to take elements from other games like Rune Factory and what's the other one you play, Michaela? Games like that are like Stardew. There's Rune Factory and Harvest Moon. Yeah, that was the one.
Harvest Moon.
Well, that's the thing, is Stardew was designed to fill the void of the fact that Harvest Moon kind of stopped being Harvest Moon. So it takes elements from all these other games where the idea is that, you inherit a farm from like a dying relative, used to live in a city, and now you're forced to live in the country, fix up your old family farm, and kind of meet the townspeople in the area. And, you can form relationships with different people in the town. You can get married, have kids eventually.
I cannot get over the beginning of
the-
Stardew.
The the weather changes, the seasons change. You can basically just decide what you're gonna do. You can be like, do I want to specialize in crops? Do I want to like specialize in fish or livestock. What I really like about the multiplayer thing is like you can get married to other players you're playing with. So like Michaela and I can still be a
okay, I
couple in
see.
the game,
Hmm.
but you can like have separate houses or live in the same house.
Can you have
So
a bed like what Grandpa was forced to be in?
I forget the bed that the grandpa was in.
You
but I
know,
want to look
it was
this
kind
up.
of a meme. I mean, we are talking about Stardew, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
Stardew Valley.
like the beginning of Stardew is like he's on his deathbed, but I just thought, I I thought that like I thought the grandpa meme was just him sleeping in his bed, like that was just his bed. I didn't think he was like dying there. I'm thinking like that's not the bed that I want to die on. It's just
That's a
like this.
very flat
It's
bed.
just a
You're right.
it's a very flat bed, just at an
It looks
angle
like
in
a
the middle
pool
of the
table
room.
with a.
And it's just like that's what he's gonna die on, and I'm thinking like I thought it was just where he sleeps, not where he dies. I'm like, we gotta take this. I mean, we gotta take this guy to somewhere more comfortable. in
He's
his final
dying
moments.
because of the bed.
He's dying because of the bed. It's like we can't figure out. It's something to do with his spine. We just don't know. And I'm just like, come on. It's such a, but yeah, it's kind of a meme. The grandpa bed. It's like having a bed in the center of the room at like an angle. It's like,
Oh
it,
yeah, people
it looks
keep
like he's
making
staying
mods
over
for
at
the
people's
grandpa
house.
deathbed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta give him a better bed, man. So I don't know, but I mean, like, I also felt I felt kind of bad, like, because
A mod.
he gives
This
you
is the best mod.
he gives you the farm, and it's like, what if you don't want it though? He's like, you might want it at some point. It's like, what if you don't though? What if you don't want? What if you don't want to live on a farm?
I mean, you would.
Yes, that's a
sell.
better. Oh my God, no! What the heck? Okay.
I don't know. I'm finding countless mods. Of just
Decent
grandpa as a
intro,
bed.
decent bed for grandpa mod. It's a decent bed for grandpa mod.
It's all it changes.
Oh man. So yeah.
The
So
bed continuum. Just a second.
yeah. I mean, it's fun and God, I love the soundtrack so much. The winter soundtrack is like definitely.
Have
the
you
best
already gotten to winter?
Nope. I just know the
Oh.
soundtrack because I listened for
Okay.
years, right? So I'm very
Okay.
familiar with it. But like, there's this track for winter, and I don't know exactly like if it needs to play under a certain condition. But I'm just listening to it. I'm just like, this is literally just straight up how I like. It's like how I feel at winter, but it's in music form. I don't know how he got it so right, but it's the only game I can think of that just got the feeling of just frozen, almost isolation. Perfect. The bed continuum. All beds exist between these 2 points. The worst bed, the best bed. I'm thinking about getting another bed because I've had this bed for so long, and I actually don't know if I've ever had a bed that's like because I didn't actually have this bed, but I had a bed
Oh, you
that
mean
was
in real life?
like in real life. I've had a bed that's I mean like the one that the other one like that Jacob used to use. I think that's this one, but it's basically the same type of bed. I've had this for pretty much my whole life, like this kind of bed. I need something bigger. Thanks for starting by Spectrius. I don't know if that was a new message or
Yeah.
a message. Sorry, I'm
When
distracted. Have
people
a great
get bigger,
stream.
they tend to increase
you.
the size of their bed.
I just read it, but it may sound like I was wishing you would have a great stream, and I'm still streaming and you're not. So, thank you.
Yeah. Also, just the angle of his bed. It's in the middle of the room diagonally.
That's what I was. That's also what I was trying to say. I was like, it's so
Like
weird.
here's another mod that makes it look like a normal bed, and it just makes it look even weirder that his bed's just scraped into the middle of the room.
Yeah. See, I mean, but like, look at the original, and it just what it looks like is that it looks like he's like staying over at someone's house, right? So it's like
Yeah.
it looks like one of those like, oh, we have this in
Well,
the
again, it looks
closet,
like a pool
unfolded.
table that they put a blanket on,
Yeah, it's
or a
it's
ping
weird.
pong ball table.
It's like this poor guy, man. I mean, I guess his farm wasn't very successful. He doesn't have a lot of money.
It was kind of run down, yeah. Yeah, there's actually a lot of good mods for Stardew Valley. There's one that turns all of the chickens, if you keep chickens, into like little tiny fluffy velociraptors.
What?
So you can like
What?
you can raise you instead of like having chickens for eggs, you can have a little chicken coop full of raptors for eggs. It's cute.
But yeah, no, I played a little bit, and I had fun. I mean, some of I'm just kind of odd that there's no save feature unless you sleep. I don't really
But
like that.
that's also how a lot of games work.
But I'm trying
Because
to.
it goes on a day feature or a day.
I get it, I
Each
get
day
that.
is a thing. Yeah.
I get that, but you know, if I'm at work and I need to put it down to deal with something, you know, which could happen at any second, even though I have a lot of downtime, you know, it's like sometimes I need to use my phone for a calculator because I need to do some calculations. It's like, so I did that, and I was like, I'm gonna just kind of window out and then use the calculator and then window back in and see if it saves my progress or whatever. Luckily, it does. It says, "Do you want to continue on where you left off?" So
Nice.
that's okay. Now, if I restart the phone or something, or if I quit the window, it'll probably end up
Just
like
don't do
losing progress. So I gotta avoid doing that. But if I window out, I guess it's fine. But
I mean,
sometimes,
you
sometimes I
know-
need to do some calculations really fast.
That's how Animal Crossing
Thank
works
you,
too. You know, it doesn't save until you go to bed.
Ebyro?
Because it
Did I
just
say that
treats
right?
each day
Thanks
as
for
like
the
a
follow, it's
separate
appreciated.
thing.
Yeah, I mean, because like I was just trying to save it really quick the first couple days, so they really wanted to meet me, but I had to go to sleep to save my progress. So they were like, "The townsfolk are ready to meet you," and I like slept for 2 days. And they're like, "Are you sure that guy lives up there? He's not visiting. He's not visiting us. It's been 2 days, and he hasn't come down to town to get food or anything. I just slept for 2 days."
The farm's already very successful, apparently. Oh my god. Someone did a mod. This is exactly what I envisioned when I saw the bed just a second.
Wait, what? Why? Wait, what?
No, this. I just sent it. This is an actual mod.
Oh.
It turns the bed into a ping pong.
Yeah, that's... Yeah, that's right. Ah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot that the bed looked like that.
Yeah, it became kind of a meme. This is a funny scene.
Someone posted that they found the grandpa bed in real life.
I found the grandpa. Just need to put it at an angle. Found the grandpa dead in real life.
Someone that doesn't know what a bed looks like. Can you draw a bed? Sure.
It's weird. I mean, everything else in the game is so expertly made. You know, the sprites and everything. So I don't know. It's weird, but
It's just a list of the different mods for the bed. I mean, at this point, they can't change it because now it's a meme, I guess. The grandpa-less bed. A slightly worse grandpa bed. The legs are broken.
grandpa-less bed. And then there's Family Guy death.
Family Guy death pose.
Slightly worse grandpa bed. Oh man.
Grandpa's bed joined Super Smash.
I was gonna make a comment because it looks like he's holding a Smash letter, doesn't it? Yeah. They even added the red on the letter. Grandpa's bed enters the fray. Yeah. Okay. I'm glad I wasn't the only one to think that. Oh, that reminds me. I've got this picture for a Twitter post later. I took this picture of there's this that's from Legends. It's a Dark Brotherhood card. It just looks like the Dark Brotherhood's been invited to Smash.
We know that you've been invited to Smash.
It'd be like slashes into the competition or something. I made a Twitter post a long time ago. I forgot what it was. It was something like I wrote down like a conversation between like me and like a Dark Brotherhood member or something in ESO. I forgot what it was. It was something like okay, I think I'm ready to join the Super Slash Bros. For the last time, we were called the Dark Brotherhood. the Super Slash Bros. No, I think they're posting a clip from Rebels I haven't seen before. No. Can't
Who's
do that.
posting a clip?
On Twitter. I don't know why.
I thought you had seen the whole series, basically.
I haven't seen the whole series.
I
What do
know,
you
but
mean?
you used to talk like that.
Well, I mean, like, I wouldn't care about this clip if I didn't, like, I'm like, oh, wait, hold on, I know that character. So I'm not gonna look at it yet. I found a book that I hadn't seen before, and I don't know the first one. I wonder if I have it. I wish that you could put every book in this game on a shelf, but you can't. You can only put lore books on shelves. But I'm trying to put together a library for the very first time. I'm collecting every single lore book in the game and making a library. And I was doing that years ago, but I was having such a hard time because I was trying to use my huge home, and it just looked so awkward to have all the bookcases so far apart. So instead, I'm using a room in my huge home and stuffing it full of bookshelves and making that my library, and it just looks a zillion times better. And I've already got so many books set up, and it's just so cool to actually be able to pick a book off the shelf, you know, like the other Elder Scrolls games. Praise Sithis. Teldos, did you hear about my Sithis talk earlier? Like the thing that I just realized on this stream that I'm gonna make a Twitter post about later. Ow. I think the new Lore Masters Archive should be coming out soon, and I'm pretty sure I'm not entirely sure who writes the Lore Masters Archives. I don't know if it's the Lore Master or if it's one of the other writers. All I know is that the Lore Master said he's really into glyphics, and my question for the Lore Masters Archive was about glyphics because I'm super interested in them as well, and because they're a new thing that they're adding to the lore, and so I'm kind of hoping that that question gets picked because I hope that they want to explain them, and if they pick that. If they pick that, that means that the Lore Masters Archive gets archived on the UESP, which means that Jace's Giant Clouds will actually exist on the UESP as a character because we document those, and it's lore. It's actually we actually use these Lore Masters Archives as references. They're very interesting.
What other implications would that have? I mean, sure, that's one thing that would happen. Jace's Giant Clouds would be added to UESP, but surely a ton of other stuff would also happen.
Like because I asked a question?
Everyone.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple things. I saw someone reference a question once from the second edition of Pocket Guide to the Empire, which doesn't technically exist because it was all just a fan-made thing. I had someone reference that in their question. And the response was pretty much just like I don't think the response was that they acknowledged that as an actual source. They would refer to it because the character referred to it, but I don't think they said anything about it actually being canon because it wasn't. So it can be a little bit. I mean, like, it can definitely maybe raise some questions. I wouldn't just go around telling people that Chase's is, like, actually canon to the Elder Scrolls, but it's the closest that anyone's gonna get. Another example of your character being canon to the Elder Scrolls is interestingly related to the Cyrodiil campaigns. So if you... I'm gonna sound so stupid here. But if you do something in Cyrodiil, I don't really know what it takes to become Emperor, but there's a thing that you do. If you're good enough in Cyrodiil, you can become Emperor of Cyrodiil. Granted, it doesn't last for long. Obviously, you get.
This is like a horrible method of government.
Well, that's the thing, though. We've known that the Interregnum has basically been referred to as a series of emperors, you know, trying to, you know, become a thing, and then they get like removed and dethroned, and then another one replaces them, and it's like a zillion different people vying for power. That was what the Interregnum was known by, and so ESO decided to do that, and they're like, yeah, and the Three Banners War is that conflict, and you as the players are constantly trying to represent your faction as being emperor, and so you become emperor if you do something, and so therefore you're technically one of the long-lost emperors of Cyrodiil, even though your name is struck from history because there's just so many of you. But if you ask me, it's like, you know, what you're probably thinking is the same thing I'm thinking. Is like, does it really count though? Like, are you really emperor if you just like beat a bunch of people up and like even if you sit on the throne in the you know White Gold Tower, doesn't really seem to make you emperor, but they consider it emperor. And in a world where it's an apocalyptic society, it's like, who can tell you no? I guess so.
Okay.
I think you need to control
like,
the control
so
points.
when the
circling
actual
Imperial
apocalypse
City and
happens,
have
I
the
can just
highest
tell
campaign
everyone that I'm
AP
the
for
Pope.
faction.
And
But
when they
then,
go like, "No, you're not," I'd be like, "Well,
but
yeah,
what
like,
makes
who's
you
gonna
as a
tell me
player
no?"
count? How many people get? Do a bunch of people get Emperor at once, or what? I'm asking questions to my friend Taildos about the Emperor thing to see what it takes to become Emperor. But for the most part, it is just kind of like, are you really though? I mean, like, are you like, because there's a lot more to being I think, I mean, the general vibe of ESO is even there's a lot more to being Emperor than just being a
If
person.
the Dark Brotherhood's not trying to assassinate you, you're not really the Emperor.
They're always trying to assassinate me. Oh shit. Son, you've been invited to Smash. Did you hear about the Discord username change?
Something about your nicknames. I don't know.
Yeah, they're taking away numbers, to my knowledge, and they're gonna make it more like Twitter, where you have an @ and no one can have the same @ So it's like @WeatherDragon better not be taken, right?
Oh,
Yeah, and no,
I'm
trust
just not
no,
gonna care.
no one's. I mean, like if you have a unique name, sure, but if you like to go by Mike, then it's like it's too bad there can only be one Mike, right?
I don't understand. I'm getting tired of it.
Yeah. I want you to have the sealed envelope. Here's the UESP translating a word wall. Way better than I ever could, because I don't know how to speak Dragon Tongue. I don't like saying Dova, because I don't think it's ever actually called Dova, but... I mean, because, like, for Skyrim's, like, 10-year anniversary, we got, like, the Dragon Dictionary, like, I guess, which added, like, a gazillion words, you know? Because, like, they gave it to us. They were like, here, and, like, I remember the USB being like, oh my god. like, you know, getting, like, all these dragon terms. So we can translate word... I don't know if we could translate these word walls flawlessly before, but I guess we can now. I don't know. But it's pretty cool to actually be able to translate these things and like have... I mean, it's just cool. Like, understood A's and... how do you even translate that? Who did this? This person's way smarter than I am. Whoever did that. Yeah, basically my entire Twitter is just Elder Scrolls. It seems.
Maybe Elder Scrolls should have its own social media platform at this point.
I always thought it's weird that Elder Scrolls doesn't have a convention. Like, I'm like, there should be an Elder Scrolls convention, because, like, the Vegas thing that happened with the ESO was, like, the first time an ESO convention has happened since 2019. Obviously, that's being an ESO convention, but what about Elder Scrolls in general? Personally, I'd call it LoreCon.
Yeah, there you go.
I always thought that was a fun name. I always like coming up with fun names for Elder Scrolls stuff. Like, Aughist is still probably my favorite contribution. I think that, I mean, like, that was really fun. That's going to be, I think, the 26th of August. But, yeah. Argonian Day. When's Khajiit Day? What would you make Khajiit Day? What would be a good time for that? If Argonians have a day, Khajiit could have a day. Yeah, I know, but like when? June and Jode? Like Joan and Jode? I don't know. July 1st for J1 is Joan. That's all I can think of. July 1st, Khajiit Day. This isn't gonna stick. So I went back to doing, because like you know how we would always do just quests together, and it's like, oh, we don't do quests unless we're like together as a family, because you know we can only do it on weekends. I'm sitting here going, I can never do any quests like at all. Like we're never gonna be able to do anything in the game if we're just doing it on weekends, and we're still doing sky shard hunting right now too. So, like I'm gonna be avoiding the really long detailed quests like DLC ones. We're gonna do those like on weekends, right? So it's like those are the ones that we would do as a family. And then the ones like the base game ones, which you can probably get done in 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Those ones I can just kind of do by myself because there's so many quests that I haven't looked at, and it's kind of shameful, right? Because like I feel like as a lore guy, and so many people have done them like 5 times over by now, and I haven't even done it once. So it's kind of shameful. I feel like I'm passing by all these quests and not doing them, and it's like we just don't have time to do them. I mean, we've been doing sky shard hunting for probably months at this point. I don't know why. I don't know what started it, but now we're almost done, and so it's like the sunken effort fallacy or whatever. But
It's the sunk cost fallacy.
yes, too much. So I mean, we're almost done though. We got Vardenfell next, and then Western Skyrim, and then Hrothgar. And Western Skyrim is only gonna have like I don't know, 6 maybe. I don't know. Maybe a little bit over that, and then Hrothgar after that. But God, I mean, we gotta hurry because we need to be done before Necrom comes out. And then when Necrom is out, like, the main quest is probably gonna be like 7 or 8 chapters, and I mean, I'd like to get that done within a month, right? Because spoilers are gonna start coming out, and I already know some spoilers, obviously, but I don't know everything. So I don't know if we're gonna have it where we do one Saturday and one Sunday, but that would be kind of like, I don't know, because then you couldn't join us, because then it's like we would do quest 1 on Saturday. You could join for that if you had the DLC, and then quest 2 on Sunday. You probably wouldn't join for that. So I don't know what we're gonna do, but obviously I'd rather get the main quest done first, you know, to make sure that we can get the spoilers out of the way, and then move on to the other quests. I mean, the companion quests seem pretty cool. We'll do those. Obviously, though, you also kind of want to make it last because it's the only DLC we're getting this year. I mean, literally, once Necrom comes out, we will not get another zone until, you know, like a whole another 12 months, probably. It's just pretty hard. Oh, I got a Discord message. Did you get a Discord message?
Let's see. The last one I got was at 12:38.
I think this was just me. I swear I opened my Discord and this was the fish picture.
It is just the fish picture. God, their entire bottom mouth, like where a tongue would be, is just teeth.
It looks like a photo edit.
It does. Technically, though, depending on how long the species has existed, it could be that human teeth look like their teeth rather than vice versa.
We have fish teeth.
I mean, technically we do, because all tetrapods are heavily derived fish. Right, the way taxonomy works, any species derived from another species is still technically nested within that species, so it's actually, well, it's a fun fact to say that apes aren't monkeys. Technically, apes are monkeys. They're just a derived form of monkey that doesn't have a tail and, you know, all the other features that make apes. So you can carry that backwards all the way to mammals are technically a derived clade of reptiles. All mammals are reptiles. They're just specialized so much that they're cladistically categorized as a different, you know, group known as mammals. But technically, all mammals are reptiles. And all reptiles, that means, are technically amphibians. And all amphibians are technically heavily derived fish, you know, that can walk on land. And so technically, all tetrapods, which are vertebrates that exist outside of the water, are fish. So, you know, birds are fish, rhinos are fish, humans are fish. Humans are reptiles.
I don't swim very well.
Birds are reptiles. Well, you're a derived fish. You're a heavily specialized fish that exists in an environment that ancestral fish, you know, weren't adapted to live in. But that's just a cladistical fun fact, is technically you can call any tetrapod a fish, and it would be accurate from a genealogical point of view. You know, kind of like saying birds are dinosaurs. You know, they're avians, they're birds, but they are technically also dinosaurs.
Everyone's posting about their favorite tweets.
Yeah.
They're just like, they can't get out of their minds. Just, no rapping tonight. Why? You rap about Patrick Swayze every time. It's embarrassing. Okay. After one beer. Uh-oh, y'all, it's getting kind of hazy. Uh-oh, y'all, it's getting kind of hazy. Oh, God.
Well, I thought you were only on Twitter for Elder Scrolls content.
Again, Twitter just shows you, like, Twitter has, like, the default tab is called For You, and then the non-default is called Following, which I don't get it.
Why don't you just not open Twitter unless you're there to post about Elder Scrolls and see how your posts are
And
doing?
I wouldn't have seen the funny post about Patrick Swayze.
That's how they get you. And the next one you'll see is AI-generated conspiracy theory against Joe Biden.
Everything that's, I mean, most of the stuff that's highly annoyed me as of late has been on Discord. Weirdly enough.
Yeah, don't use Discord either.
It's where you just least expect it, I guess.
Just don't use any form of social media. If you insist on utilizing it to post, you know, your own content based on the channels that you operate, by all means do that and check the apps to see how those posts are doing, but don't actively peruse them for any other, you know, other people's content.
The mix of Nibonese, Argonian, and Khajiit in this area fascinates me. Each feels that this land is
Also,
theirs
it's
to
past
tend,
3 a.m., so I'm probably gonna
yet
have
they
to get
don't
off.
actively fight
Okay.
over it.
We're tired.
Words prevail here instead of war,
Good night.
for the
Night.
most part.
Bye.
Of course, this was not always the case.
Did my stream not say with family? It probably didn't. I just completely forgot to put with family. Oh well. I'll put it in the VOD.
First, Argonians tended the land, allowing Khajiit to help. Then Nibonese settled here, causing the Khajiit to growl. After the Chapel of Zenithar was built, the Khajiiti Wander Kings took it through blood spilling. But that did not end the violence. Imperials took it back. Then, when the Longhouse Emperors ruled, they controlled the city until Sai Sahan, at Varen Aquilarios' request, liberated it. Now the city supports a harmonious mix of races. Argonians find this acceptable.
Other than by Oblivion, everyone seems a little bit more racist. Yeah. I spent a lot of time in Blackwood recently, today. Ow.
I knew if I waited
Nope,
here long
you're
enough,
not
I'd
supposed to
find
be
you.
here. Not supposed to be here. But that is a clever observation. You did find me. Because you waited there long enough. Remember when sometimes you'd be looking at the White Guild Tower in the distance and it would like vanish and then come back into being? Speaking of which, God, I want to check something. I had someone tell me that you could see, you could see the Colossus with scaffolding on it from a distance if you look really carefully. I'm gonna look. Alright, let's see if that's true. Okay, so there's let's let everything render really quick, actually. Rendering. Nothing there here. But they said if you get too close it goes away, which is freaking weird. So I'm just gonna keep moving away. Still not there. Still no scaffolding there. I think they said they were on Xbox, which I don't know if that changes anything. Still no scaffolding. What the heck? Not if you get close enough. Yeah, there's especially nothing there if you're close enough. Which is weird, you feel like it should be there. God, you can see the head, I just noticed. It's so sad. How far away were they? Maybe it's in my saved pictures. Let me see. I looked through my saved images. Yeah, here it is. They're looking. God, yeah, they're like. They're behind. They're around where I was. Wait, oh wait, are they on the balcony? Where are they? Let's see this. They're pretty high up. How are they high up? I mean, I guess they could be on that balcony. Isn't there a balcony there? Yeah, let's do that. I mean, I'm not up there a lot. I think I made a wrong turn. Yeah, I went too far. Hold on. This is the right way. Let's go this way.
Listen here, give me your ear. The sapphire turning comes from every nook by sea and foot, and I'm the one.
Is this it? Well, this is a little bit too high up, I think. But I'm about the same distance. I don't see anything. I mean, like, nothing. Ow, I landed on your bear. I'm so sorry. He's okay. He's alright. He's good. Yeah, I don't know. That's wild, man. I think they said they were on Xbox, so why would Xbox get that, but we wouldn't? Would that be, like, do we have a Colossus page? No, it doesn't. It doesn't say. It doesn't seem like we have one. Hmm. So we wouldn't have anything saying that it would be repaired. Well, hold on. I was looking at the online page. Let's look at the lore page. No, we don't have one here either. Hmm. That is wild. I gotta bring that up. Hold on. Okay. Oh, I'm still in the Discord. I tabbed out, so the music will cut. Move this over here. What does my VOD say? Oh my god. How many VODs has it made, man? Oh god. Oh god. 2. I guess it could be worse. Anyway, give me a bit. Let's see here. I'm gonna find someone to raid us too. I'm thinking I got an idea.
Trade with Kashi.
Okay. I'll be raiding you guys to Cute Nice Nice, I think, or Nis Nis. Who's playing ESO? We'll probably be live at 7 p.m. Central tomorrow. Maybe it depends when we get home. I mean, I no doubt 9, and I'll be here by 9, no doubt. So that's like the latest, but 7 probably for like something like Fallout or Sea of Thieves. We'll see. And then ESO. After that, probably we're gonna be doing Vardenfell to do the Sky Shards. Give me a second and let me get the raid started for. Is it Cute Nice Nice? Cute Nis Nis? Yeah. I think it's for me in here. I haven't been going for only an hour and a half. I've been going for like 6 hours and 20 minutes. So yeah, it's just that my my internet's been really bad lately, and so it made 2 VODs. Still gotta fix that. I will see you guys when I see you. Thank you guys so much for watching.